Hey everybody, welcome to the Crown Peach Show. I'm your host Chris, and with me today we've got rapper and artist manager 48 Ways. Hey everybody, welcome to the Crown Peach Show. Sitting with me in the peach seat is 48 Ways.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. It's only been like a couple months in the making, right?
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
And let me tell you, you had a lot of people hitting me up on your behalf.
Really?
Yeah, what's up with that, boss?
I don't know. They just want me to get out there, I guess.
Yeah, they believe in you for sure, right?
Yeah,
all right,
definitely.
well, we're going to take it back a little bit. We're going to take it back 48 Ways back, okay? Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Orange, UCI.
Uh-huh.
And you can say my family integrated to Santa Ana.
Okay.
Right? So if you go way back, we were a family, a big old family in one house. You know, you had uncles in the living room.
Yep.
Aunts in another room. Little families in different rooms. And from there we started, going our separate ways with our parents, my parents. Then we moved to Anaheim when I was about like the second grade. Moved to Anaheim, and it's been Anaheim ever since.
Yeah.
So Orange County baby.
I don't know if the camera can catch us, but he's not playing. He's diehard Anaheim right there. Like, I wore red for the Angels just in case. And then I saw his hat, so I was like, oh, phew, thank God I didn't wear Dodger blue.
Oh, man.
Even though he hit me with the door when he got here.
Yeah.
It's all good. Okay, so pretty much you're born and raised in Anaheim. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So what was that like growing up as a kid?
It was ups and downs, like every Hispanic household, you can say. First generation Mexican, Chicano, you can say, because my parents came from Mexico, from Michoacan. So my mom was young. My parents were young when they had me. My mom was like 17 when she had me. So right away they got to work. They were working, and they were always working. So elementary was like being home alone a lot. Making myself food, and pretending I was a chef, at home.
Yes, I know. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'd be like talking to myself while I'm making a torta or something, like pretending I have my own.
Was that your favorite food to make as a kid for yourself, was a torta?
Yeah, because when we would go like visit Michoacan, Mexico, there was this like little tiendita, little liquor store, you can say. They had some bomb tortas, and when we would come back, I used to want to make the same.
Try to make your own.
Yeah, and it was
How
never
close
the
did
same.
you get to making it just the same?
Not close.
At all, right?
Not close, not close. But man, I used to be like, man, I miss those tortas.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it was. Practically elementary is like kind of raising yourself in a way.
Well, you mentioned you had siblings off camera. Are you the oldest, youngest, middle? What are you?
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest?
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
All right, so you were the test dummy.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I'm the one that caught the beatings from moms,
Yeah.
Any little thing, she whooped my ass. Yeah.
How far apart are your siblings?
My brother's like, I think 3 years
younger,
and then my sister's like 7 years younger or something like that.
How hard is that being the oldest in that family?
Not too hard. Not too hard. It's I take the first punches. I'll take the first whoopings. So it was
never the baby's fault, huh?
No.
Baby never.
To my mom it was, but not to my dad.
Oh yeah. Well, because she was a girl too, so she was daddy's girl.
Yeah, definitely.
That's okay.
She could do no wrong.
We're gonna work through that later. We'll work through that together at Downtown Disney.
Yeah.
Inside joke.
Yeah.
But did you feel the pressure, like, to lead the way, like, for your siblings?
In a way, because being first generation.
Yeah.
It felt like I had to learn everything, because like I grew up with a lot of homies and friends. You can say that they're like second generation or third generation, some fourth generation.
It's different, right?
It's a lot different because their parents and their grandparents experienced the lifestyle here. We didn't. Like I remember when elementary, before we even learned English, pretending to speak English, we would say some like weird words that we we'd be talking. We think we're speaking in English, and we weren't. We were like speaking some made up language, you know?
Yeah, opposite of Spanglish, right?
Yeah.
So English is your second language.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
What age did you start speaking English, like fluently?
Maybe around first or second grade.
All right. So you learned it in school.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Your parents speak English or just Spanish?
My mom mostly Spanish. My dad learned it somewhat being here.
Yeah.
Because he always, you know, moved up in his jobs and stuff like that. So he learned it pretty good. You know, sometimes he would say words that I'd be like, damn, Dad, like, my dad's a paisa. How the hell he come up with that word? You know,
Right?
I don't even know that word, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, sometimes he would amaze me of his vocabulary, you know, but that came from his job and having to interact with bigger people.
That's
you know?
his hustle mentality.
Yeah,
he knew what he needed to do to climb that ladder.
Pops is definitely a hustler.
Okay.
Moms too. They're definitely hustlers, but I feel like it comes from them being paisas and them coming to the U.S. and having to make a way for themselves, you know, and their
the
kids.
hunger too to have more and to give their kids more. I think is where that hustle from that generation comes from.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
So it was a lot of like frijoles con tortillas, you know, coffee with water, not milk.
Yeah,
you know, because we didn't have milk sometimes. You know, it was rough, and then there was good times also. So I've been you know, had it all, had nothing, and then had some. You know, so I've really got a taste of every. You can say every. I don't know how to say it.
Every
really.
level.
Every level. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Every
so
level.
what were you like as a kid in school? Were you quiet? Were you shy? Were you outgoing? Were you like the comedian of the class?
I was like a thug. Yeah, I was thugged out.
That wasn't even on my list, but okay.
Yeah,
that's who you were.
I wanted to be a cholo. I wanted to be a drug dealer. Yeah, that was like my mentality was like.
Now, did that want come from what you seen outside of your home?
Yeah. All
right.
Yeah, it was. Especially like when your parents are gone all the time working, you go outside and you know your friends become the homies.
The streets,
you know,
the streets babysit you. Yeah.
The streets become your friends. You know, you got older homies, cholos, you can say that would check you. You know.
Yeah.
You get out of line, you're getting checked by an older homie from the neighborhood or whatever, putting you in line, checking you, letting you know that's right or that's wrong. You know, so a lot of times, you know, I get beat up in elementary, come home with a black eye or something. I got beat up a lot because I got in a lot of fights, you know, so I had to learn how to fight. But yeah, I can say I took a lot of whoopings growing up, and that was part of the learning process, you know? That was part of the learning process for sure.
You got to fight your way out sometimes.
Yep.
So you wanted to become a gang member, you wanted to become all those things. Did you succeed in what you wanted to do?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
And where did that get you?
In prison.
Oh shit.
Yeah, in prison. Yeah, it's a dead end. That's a dead end road. Yeah, it's a dead end road. Yeah, it's it only lasts like so long. You know, some people last longer than others.
Yeah.
But it's really a dead end. It's really.
So you would say like eventually that lifestyle catches up with you.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does.
When it caught up with you, how bad did it sting when it caught up with you?
Pretty bad because once it caught up with me, I already had like my son was already, you know, I already had a kid. So by the time it caught up with me, it's like having to leave. At the time I had the first time I went to prison, I only had my son, so that hurt because I never wanted to leave him. The lifestyle I was living, you always like, man, I would always pray and always think to myself like, man, my biggest fear was to leave my son. You know, and then eventually when my daughter was born, that too, like that was my only fear that I really had in life was leaving my kids behind for me having to go to prison.
Yeah.
You know, that was always in the back of my head, you know, and then eventually it happened and I had to leave them, you know, and they're the ones that really suffer.
So they were both already born when you served time?
The first time I went to prison, I only had my son.
Okay.
Then I came home, and then my daughter was born, and then a couple years later, I went to federal prison, and then that was like my fear really, you know, kicked in.
So it took 3 times for you to be locked up to finally like learn the lesson, or do you think you learned the lesson and then shit just caught up with you later?
No, because the first time I went to prison, I went to prison on drug trafficking charges, right? And I did 3 years the first time. It was state prison. And then the second time I went to prison, and the second and final time was federal prison. So federal prison is a lot different. They're more petty. They give you more time for a smaller crime, you know. And I went again for distribution of drugs. So that time it was like having to leave them. You know, that hurt. That was really what hurt the most.
That was worse than serving, like being in prison. It was like a prison up here and here.
Yeah, because you see that they're the ones really suffering.
Yes.
You know, they're the ones that really go through it, because when they come to see you and then you can't leave with them at visiting, you know, that hurt. That would hurt, you know, and you can't show it in there. Yeah. Because, you know, they're in there, you're either a wolf or you're a sheep, you know, and you got to be a wolf in there. You can't be a sheep and you can't show no weakness. Yeah. You know, so I couldn't go back to my cell or go back to the yard or you know, go back and be
cry.
Sad and cry or be upset.
So then how did you deal with that? How did you deal with those emotions in there? Because that's heavy, watching your babies leave. I don't know that feeling personally, but I was on the other side of that glass and having to take my grandbabies away from their mother who's sitting there on the phone. So I have the opposite view of that. But you as the inmate, and you have to go back to your cell, where do you put that pain?
Man, it was like, you really got to hide it. You really got to hide it because you don't want the other inmates to see that you're hurting, right? Yeah. Because there's really people that really prey on that for some reason. Even though I'm not somebody that, like, I'm not gonna let myself be preyed on, you know. Yeah. But still, like, you're vulnerable.
It's a sign of weakness.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's a sign of weakness. So it used to hurt me when I would see my daughter. Like, she would cry after when the visit was over. She would cry and hold on to me, and it would hurt me, but I would say, "Oh, you're gonna come back," you know.
Yeah, you had to stay strong for them.
Yeah.
But you go back to your cell. Did you throw yourself into educating yourself? Did you read? Did you write? What did you do to channel all that emotion and energy?
I would write a lot of music. Pen a lot of music. You know, write down goals. Like, just write down a lot of ideas in the music for music. You know, and. Go work out, really. Just work out and music. That's really what I would do. I would try to stay away from the trouble, you know.
From the drama in there?
Yeah, from the drama.
Do you remember the first thing that you wrote?
In there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do, actually. I do. It's a song about drug dealing, you know, but leaving and stuff like that. You know, it was... and then...
is it something that you've recorded and released yet, or is it just still written
Not yet, down? Because I want to use Rihanna as a sample on the chorus. I want to use Rihanna's voice from one of her songs, so that as I was writing the song, I was writing my first verse, and when I got to the end of the verse, it just happens. It's like a puzzle, you know. Yeah. So it like the way I end the song is like, holy shit! Like, I need Rihanna's part on here. Not her really, but I need to sample one of her songs to get on this song. So it's gonna be a process to do that song, because, you know, either she's gonna clear it, or I'm gonna have to find a way for her to clear it, or I'm gonna have to just do it and then maybe get sued if it gets big enough. Yeah. You know, but in the music, if you get sued by a big artist like that, you must be doing something right.
Exactly.
You know, so
right enough for them to see it and hear it.
Exactly.
You definitely have to bring that to light and make that happen, because I think that will be a full circle healing moment for you. Yep. Do you know what I mean? Especially because you wrote that in there about your lifestyle and stuff. Wow, thank you for sharing that with me. I was digging though. I was like, what did you do to stay positive in there? Because it's, you know, it's a different world in there.
Yeah,
it's you know, what is it? Fight or flight, you know what I mean?
I did take classes, you know, like I took, for example, I took a parenting class, which I get a kick out of, and I laugh because I tell especially my daughter that's 12, like I tell her, like, I'm a certified dad. So, you know, whatever I tell you,
I have the certificate.
You know, I got the certificate. I'm a certified dad. And she goes, Dad, come on, you're not. you're not, you don't have a certificate. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I said, I have a certificate. You know, I took parenting class.
Legit certificate.
And she says, then why do you trip on me? I said, oh, because I'm a dad.
Because they make it so hard, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They don't understand that they were not born with instructions. It's like, you know, we just got to see what works, what works.
Yep.
So how old is your daughter since you brought her up?
She's 12.
All right,
She's 12.
cool.
Yeah.
And how long has it been since you guys have been reunited now?
3 years.
All right, cool.
3 years, yeah. 3 years. June, I think June is 3 years. Yeah. I actually have a video, but I had to take it down because I didn't get cleared. But I have a video where I surprised her at Shakey's, because Shakey's is my favorite pizza.
Oh, okay.
Shout
out to Shakey's.
Yeah, shout out to Shakey's, but I don't know if you ever
which one?
heard.
Is there like a specific one you go to?
Anaheim.
Oh, okay.
Anaheim. So growing up, I used to go to a pizza parlor called Me and Ed's Pizza, and that's like by far like the best to me.
Yeah.
So they moved, they closed down in Orange County, but second to that is Shakey's. The closest to that is Shakey's by far, you know, and that's my favorite pizza. So I called, you know, before being released. I called and I said, hey, I'm catching a flight, you know, because I was in Colorado. So I was like, I'm catching a flight, you know, or taking the bus, one or the other. But I want to surprise my daughter. I know, so be at Shakey's. I want Shakey's.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had and I told my brother, because my brother picked me up from the airport, and my son. I have a son also, so they picked me up. But I told my brother, like, don't tell nobody. Like, I don't want a big thing. I don't want to make it a big deal. Like, I want to be low key. I just want you guys, like, just a little bit of you guys.
Yeah.
Not the whole family, not friends. Like, I just mainly want my son and my daughter. That's really all I want. And of course, like, you know, my mom, you know, and so that's what I did. I surprised my daughter. So my daughter thought they were just going out for dinner.
Yeah, for
and
pizza.
I surprised her. Yeah, I surprised her. So it was being recorded, and I actually used that footage for a video that I shot. I shot a video called "I'm Back."
Nice.
And during the chorus, I told the videographer. I told him, hey, for the chorus, I need you to get clips from Michael Jordan, from Canelo, the boxer. I need you to get a couple other clips from these people and put them into the video. So we used them. I put the video up, but it didn't get cleared, and I had to take it down.
It didn't get cleared by who?
By YouTube, by ESPN, by Canelo's team.
Okay. Now, why did you pick those clips? Why are those people important enough to be in your video?
Because what I say goes with that, and then I use them. Like I say, I'm back, because that's the concept of the song, I'm back.
Yeah.
And when I say I'm back, for example, I say I'm back like Canelo after losing to Mayweather.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Nice.
And then I say I'm back like Jordan after his first retirement.
Okay.
You know, and I kind of forget the rest, but that's kind of what.
All right, that's dope. But you had to take it down because it didn't get cleared.
Yeah, it didn't get cleared.
All right, we got to figure out how to bring that back up again, for sure.
Yeah, for real.
All right, we're going to take a really quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about when you started in the music industry, how that's going, and what's next for you. But during the break, enjoy this video by 48 Ways called Game Wild.
She looking at me for? She looking at me for? Then what you looking at me for? Yeah. Oh, they think I got the cheat code? Yeah. Bad bitch, good in the sheets though. Tongue game wild when she deep throat.
So why you looking at me for? They must know I got the G code. Why you hating on me for? They must know I got my pistol.
Hey, couldn't see how I move, man. Yeah, know we on some new things. And find me in the new range, trying to kick fire like Luke Kane. You know I'm sliding with my boo thing. She gon' shoot if the mood change. And we smoking on fire, getting higher than a motherfucking choo-choo train. In my lane, stack of paper, what you think? I be talking commas to the bank. Yeah, I'm trying to kick it with the cousins by the lake. Say the drama for another day. Yeah, know I'm about getting paid. Tell me what's the move, what's the play? And I rep by E and Lynn, but right now I be posted in the A. So Anaheim. So what you looking at me for? Or they think I got the cheat codes. Bad bitch good in the sheets though. Tongue game wild when she deep throat. Yeah.
So why you looking at me for? They must know I got the G code. Why you hating on me for? They must know I got my pistol. I don't need security on my own authority. I don't rap for glory and I don't make up stories. From the city of Anaheim, I didn't have a dime. Then I learned to grind, so I always be fine. I got the vision of a dreamer, stay focused on a mission. Like a single parent trying to feed the children. If the radio don't play me, y'all be fine. They don't owe me nothing. In the hood I shot. Hey, nothing, you can show her the side of this world. She about her money, she a badass girl. Them federal charges made me stay humble. Working on my album, smoking on humble. I'm trying to reach far, they trying to leave a scar. I wanna die rich, they want me die poor. Hangover, I don't do liquor. We been celebrating, we just staying with the extra.
So what you looking at me for? Or they think I got the cheat code? That bitch good in the sheets though. Tongue game wild when she deep throat.
So why you looking at me for? They must know I got the G code. Why you hating on me for? They must know I got my pistol.
Ay, couldn't see how I move, man. Yeah, know we on some new things. Now find me in the new range, trying to kick fire like Luke Kang.
We are back from the break. I hope you guys enjoyed that music video, Game Wild. Be sure to be on the lookout for it on the top 5 as well on Urban Soul TV because it will be there as well. So, how did music come to be? Last, we talked, you were serving time. You were writing music in there. But I want to know, were you into music before you started serving time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It started when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was maybe 14 or 13, something like that. And I used to write poems.
Okay.
But my poems were like, gang related. But I used to use like, my vocabulary was, I used to like try to use good vocabulary, not your ordinary hood vocabulary, you could say. I used to try to, expand my mind. I was a big dreamer, so the way I would talk was kind of wild, kind of weird sometimes.
Yeah.
So I started writing poems, and to me they seemed pretty dope. So I'm like, I wonder if I can put these poems into beats.
Yeah.
Right. So I remember I got like a Snoop beat or something, one of his songs, and I got the beat, and I did a song to one of his beats, like a neighborhood song for like my hood.
Yeah.
And the homies heard it. Some of the homies heard it, and they were like, "Damn, like you got something there, you know? Keep going." And I just kept going. But I was in the streets, I was hustling, and I was doing music here and there, and it became a hobby to me.
Yeah.
Because the lifestyle I was living, so it became a hobby. And then before I went to federal prison, is when right before I went to federal prison, shortly before, I was like, man, I need to give this 100%. So I started, there's some dudes out there that owe me some studio time, and I never came home to collect or nothing, but
they know who they are.
I left like headphones, at their studios and stuff like that, where I said, hey, these beats by Dre are only for me when I come, and stuff like that. Here's some money. I want to record some music, and so I started taking it like real serious, where it started transitioning from being my hobby into like something really serious, and then I went away. While I was gone, one of my good friends started a record label, right? And by the time I came home, that record label was already big. It's a big record label.
Are you on that record label now?
Yes, I manage for that record label.
That's awesome. You want to give them a shout out? Who is that record
shout out
label?
to Afinarte Music.
Afinarte Music.
And coming home, that label being big, and him opening the doors to me, because he's a good friend of mine. We've been good friends, and him opening the doors to me, and never forgetting me, or never forgetting, especially him being the CEO, never forgetting where he came from.
Yeah, that part right there.
Yeah, so when I came home, he opened the doors to me and asked me, what you want to do? I said, I want to get into this music. I want to take it serious.
Yeah.
Because before I went away, he was telling me actually like, hey, stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
Let's let me start this label and come on board. Come on board. You'll have a spot. And okay. And then I got indicted, went away, came home, and that label's like a big successful label now. So he opened the doors, and I accidentally became a manager to artists, and in the process became a artist developer. So I develop
Okay,
artists.
so you say accidentally. Why do you say accidentally?
Because I came home with the intention to record my own music. So I went to the studio one time, and while I was at the studio about to start my session, they were playing some music of an artist, and it's Spanish music. So I liked the music, and it sounded really good. It sounded dope. And I said, "Who's this?" And they said, "Oh, it's him." I said, "This is you? Well, let me hear some more." So I heard some more. I was impressed. I really liked it. I said, "Man, you're talented." I called my friend. I said, "Hey, I think I got an artist. You think you can?" He said, "Yeah, let me hear his music."
Yeah.
Send him the music. And he said, "You know what? Bring him on this day. Bring him. Let's have a meeting." We had a meeting. Then we had a second meeting, and he signed the artist. So I came on board as he told me, "Hey, you know what? You're gonna be his manager." I said, "Okay." So I became his manager, and then I started, doing the whole manager thing, trying to learn how to be a manager.
Yeah.
So I was like scrambling, like picking managers' brains. I don't know if, for example, Peso Pluma.
Yeah.
Like I met his manager. So when I met her, right, the whole time I was sitting with her, picking her brain, right, because now she's like one of the biggest managers in the world, right? So at the time she wasn't his manager yet, but she was Santa Fe Clan's manager, which is Santa Fe is like the biggest rapper in the world out of Mexico, but he's huge. So at the time she was only his manager. So that's when I met her, and she used to work for the label. So that's how I met her. So when I met her, I was like, man, that's perfect. She's a good manager, big manager. So I started picking her brain while, the concert was going on, and behind the scenes, VIP stuff was going on.
Yeah.
And I had full access to the whole venue. I was sitting next to her, picking her brain,
Smart.
I was picking her brain. I was just there because I wanted to learn.
Yeah.
And then one of the, some of the acts on the label, they're managers, they're road managers, project managers. I like to pick their brains, So
it's good to know everyone's position, everyone's role, and what they do.
Yep.
Shout out to her. What's her name again?
I don't remember her name.
It's okay, but she's...
Now she's Peso Pluma's manager.
So,
but I got pictures with her and everything. I got receipts,
Yeah,
how they say.
receipts.
I got pictures and all that stuff. Yeah.
But shout out to her for giving you the time of day.
And
sharing,
definitely.
that knowledge
definitely.
with you, because
Definitely.
I think that's one thing that unfortunately our Hispanic community, we have to. There's enough room for everybody. You know what I mean? So there's no harm and there's no foul in sharing the platform, sharing the knowledge. You know what I mean?
That's true. You can't be greedy. You can't be greedy because the more people you can make successful, the more you advance yourself in life.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is, in your opinion, the hardest thing about being a manager to the artists?
The hardest thing is trying to get across to the artist, right? Because a lot of times when you take an artist to the label, and if the label signs an artist, the artist automatically thinks they made it, right? And that's not even the case. That just means that the moment a label signs you, you have to go into overtime.
It's when you work harder.
So
correct?
now you have to go 10 times harder, 100 times harder, because once you're on an actual label, now you're not competing against your local artists, right? You're competing against the artists in the world, the best artists in the world,
other
right?
signed artists.
Right? So, for example, the first artist I took to the label and got signed, when I would go and have meetings on my own with the label, I remember, the CEO of the label told me one time, he stopped me and he said, "Hey, you know what? You have to understand, and your artist has to understand that now he's making music to compete with the biggest artists in the world. Let that sink in."
Yeah.
And I said, holy damn, okay, man, it was like something it was big. It was bigger than what I was accustomed to, right?
Yeah.
It was something bigger.
Probably eye-opening for you too, being that you're an artist as well.
So now the pressure piles up on me.
The manager.
Now you got pressure of a manager.
Yeah.
So now you're like, man, I got to become the best manager in the game, right? Because you want to be the best.
Yeah, for them, for
me
your artists
personally,
too. Yeah.
everybody wants to be the best at what they do.
Exactly.
So being a manager, I put my music aside, and I started working with artists, and then being a manager, I started paying more attention to other artists, other local artists, other small artists. You start paying more attention. You start searching for artists on YouTube. You start going to little shows. Up and coming artists. You start going to them. You start scoping out talent.
Yeah.
So that's really where it really kicks off. Where
it's a lot of work for you because now you're scouting. So how many artists do you currently manage?
Right now, I'm managing one artist.
Okay.
One artist that I've been developing for over a year.
All right.
And he's a rap artist out of Mexico.
Okay, and what's his name?
BHO. His IG is Bucho Rios, but he's very talented. When I discovered him, he had never been to the studio. He didn't know how to structure a song. He didn't know what 16 bars was, what a hook, how to structure a hook. He didn't know the timing. He didn't know anything about being in the studio.
Yeah.
All he did was freestyle. So you could put a beat on for him and he can freestyle. Like he can, freestyle and murder everybody. Like every time I took him around artists, he would just hands down, kill him.
Yeah.
Really, how they say, he would kill him in a freestyle. And I knew I had something, but when I took him to the studio, it felt like he was intimidated. He had never been to. It felt like the mic was kicking his behind.
Oh man, yeah.
So it was a process, and if we go back to when I first took him to the studio over a year ago, it took maybe 3 hours to do one song. And the last time I took him to the studio, we fast forward. The last time I took him to the studio, maybe 3 weeks ago, he did a song in like 5 minutes.
Wow.
One take, like no cut, just one take, did the whole song. And I was like, holy shit, like.
Holy shit, you. Did you look in the mirror and be like, damn, I'm a manager? Because that's you of developing him for a year. Like, obviously, you're not only a doer because you're an artist as well, but you're a teacher.
Yeah, and I actually became like, you could say like a big brother. Because you kind of have to become like a big brother because you have to be on them.
Yeah.
Right? You have to be on them. Like, I wanted him to come today, right? And he has stuff to do. So, because he had a show yesterday.
Yeah.
So today I kind of understood, but when he first said, "Oh, I have stuff to do," I was kind of bothered, and I had to tell him like, "Hey, you got to remember, like, if I need you somewhere, you got to be there." But then I was like, "Okay, he had a show yesterday.
Yeah.
Today."
You had to take a moment and step back.
I had to take a moment and step back, but that's like the big brother that kicked in was like, "Man, you have to go with me."
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? He don't have to go. Like, he had a show yesterday.
And guess what? We're not going anywhere. So you can bring him back on here again.
Yeah.
Right now it's all about you.
Yep.
Okay, so since it's all about you, 48 Ways. How did that name come to be? And by the way, I don't even know his real name. That's how, secretive it is. 48 Ways. How and why?
It's the hood where I grew up. Back when there was pagers. That was the code we would use.
Okay.
And that's the code for the hood. But in order to...
did that code mean like it's time to eat, time to go home, like shit's going down?
It's like, because in the pager times when there was pagers, you
all
get
I
a
know
number.
Is that 143, that's all I'm about.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
But, when you get a random number, if you don't know who the number is, chances are you're not going to call it back.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of times you get that number from you get a random number, but it has the 48 on it.
Okay.
And you're like, okay, it's one of the homies.
Yeah.
Right? So you call it back right away. Right? So in the hood, it's like in order to claim the number instead of the letters, right? It's like you got to become like an all-star, you can say, in your hood.
An MVP, maybe?
You got to be like an MVP from your hood. You can't. Not just anybody can rock the numbers.
Okay.
Right? So I happen to be, an all-star, you can say. I was an MVP, so I was able to use
48.
48, I used the 48. Shout out to the hood, shout out to all the homies. But yeah, I was able, I'm able to use it. And then the ways, so since it was 48, I put the ways with it. And then the 48. It related a lot to the book 48 Laws of Power, which means a lot to a lot of people in life.
Yeah.
You know, it just means a lot. So it made sense to me, but it wasn't like I just used it. You know, it developed within time.
Yeah.
Because the number was there in front of me the whole time. So it took years of me trying to figure out the name.
Yeah.
So then once it just kind of kicked in, you know, kind of hit me, you know,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, the name is there already.
Yeah.
Let's put the ways with it, and let's go with 48 ways and see how. And it just started sounding good. People started giving me good,
Good feedback.
good
on
feedback
it?
on
Yeah.
it. Saying that the name sound dope. and
It's
stuff.
catchy for sure.
Yeah.
For
so
sure.
so in Anaheim, you hear 48 or even 48 ways. You know, growing up. You know, in the gang life and stuff. So in Anaheim, they others know
Okay.
really what it is.
Well, I just want to know if I go to Shakey's, can I throw that out there and get some free pizza?
Actually, you used to be able to before. Because before I used to go to Shakey's so much
Yeah.
that I became friends with the manager there. And I wouldn't even have to wait in line. I would just walk in, say what's up to him,
Yeah.
go to the table, and he would bring my food to me. And then
Like
pay,
that?
and then pay later. I shit you not.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, you need to start
Yeah.
taking your butt back there
Yeah.
again.
But I think he transferred to a different
Shakey's, a different city?
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny because one time I ran into him. I was getting to a trap house. You could say dope house. But in dope dealing terms, we call it the office, right?
Okay.
We call a trap house the office, right? So I was getting to the office, you can say, years back, and I had two bags. I had two big bags, and you know, I had something in those bags. But I was walking, and I ran into him, and I remember, you can't tell. I had gift bags, so
Yeah.
you can't really tell what I had in the bags. But I remember he looked at me. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? And
Yeah.
he's like, you live here? And I was like, no. And he was like, oh, he looked at the gift bags, and he was like, oh, birthday party or something? And I was like, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, shit, I hope, you know, he didn't really
Catch on.
But
But was he leaving the office?
No. He happened to live there.
Oh,
He happened to live in those apartments.
In the building where your office was located?
Yeah.
Okay.
He happened to live in those apartments, and I happened to have an
Damn.
office there. You can say office, you know,
Yeah.
that's how we call it.
An office.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm never saying I'm going to the office again. I'm just gonna be like a studio. I'm not going to the office. I'm going to the studio.
Yeah.
Okay, 48 ways. I'm gonna have to definitely listen to that book. I can't promise I'm gonna read that book, but I will listen to it on audio.
Yeah,
48
you
ways.
48 laws of power.
48 laws of power.
Yeah.
Okay. Prescribed by 48 ways. Got it.
Yep.
So what is next for you?
I'm working on some videos, some music.
Your music, right?
My music, building a catalog.
Okay.
I'm piling up a catalog so that I could flood the market. Because I took time away from my personal music while I was developing and managing artists, right? So what I kind of now, since I developed the artist that I have left,
Yeah.
now that he's developed and ready to be in the studio with big artists, there's big plans for him with big artists. Just the label asked me not to speak on that
That's fine.
yet, because the reason is when you do a project through a label, a lot of times a song doesn't come out, right?
Yeah.
Because all parties have to agree on the contract, on the numbers, everything. So there's a lot of times where you have to keep a hush, right? You got to keep hush. So, but there's big plans for my artists. There's big plans. There's big features we got lined up. I just can't say who those features are.
Yeah.
I wish
That's
I
fine,
could.
because you can bring him back on and then we can talk about him, your artist.
Yeah, I like, man, because there's
It's
some
exciting stuff.
some exciting stuff that I've been working so hard to get to, and then we're like there now, and it's like, man, I wish I could just tell. Like, I wish I could tell my family, right?
Yeah.
And, I wish I could tell, people.
The world,
But-
but
but-
that time will come. That time
Yeah,
will
that
come
time
for
will
sure.
definitely come. But he's finally been developed, right? The CEO himself, which is my friend from
Yeah.
the label, called me and was like, "Hey, this kid's ready. This kid's finally ready, right?" Because the last song I sent him, he was like, "Oh, the kid's ready now.
Fire.
He's there now."
Yeah.
Right. So the whole thing is for when you develop an artist, the whole thing is the purpose is for you to be able to put him in a studio with a big artist, right, and him not be starstruck or scared.
Yeah.
To get in the mic
Yeah.
or get in the song with the artist, because you want him to feel comfortable. You want him to be developed all the way around, right, and not go in there and have a hard time, right? Because
or freeze, yeah.
Yeah,
freeze,
because all that ain't free, right?
Yeah.
Studio time ain't free, right? So a lot of times you go to a studio and you pay so much money, and you don't want to have to pay so much more money for so much more time
to redo.
You know, to redo or other extra stuff, right? So that's why you take them to studios here and there. You take them, and then to take them to the big actual studio with the big artist, it's a whole different ball game, right? So we got some big stuff lined up for him, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's exciting. Your baby's gonna fly the nest soon.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's gonna be off doing his own thing. You won't have to babysit him so much, and you can get back to you.
Yep.
To your catalog.
Yep.
All right.
So
do you perform at any events or anything?
I try to stay away from that.
Why is that?
A lot of events, I go there to watch other artists.
Okay.
Right? I go to watch other artists.
To scout or to see the competition?
No, to scout.
Okay.
Right? To scout, because I enjoy behind the scenes. So like my music that I'm doing, my personal music, I'm not doing it with the intention to perform them. I'm doing it with the intention to show the world through streams and videos, right? So if it comes to it where I have to go perform big events and stuff like that, then I will, right?
If you have to.
Yeah, if I have to. But I'm not.
Don't want to.
I'm not looking at myself in that way because I like the managing and developing so much and behind the scenes so much that, you know, that I don't want to take away from that. You know, I don't want to take away from that.
Would you say that you like managing and developing and teaching more than you like doing?
No, because I love creating.
Okay.
I love but I love being in the studio. Like I just told somebody recently, creating my own music is awesome and beautiful. Like being in the studio for my own music is awesome. And then creating for somebody else and being in the studio where it has nothing to do with you, but somebody else, you know, it's like, damn, it could be hard on yourself, right?
Yeah.
But I'm a humble person. I come from humble beginnings, so you know, I want to see somebody shine, you know, because if it reflects on me, you know, like, man, this person's shining, who's behind them, you know, that all comes back to you, you know?
I could tell and I could feel that you were a good person and you were genuine, because there were so many people in my DMs telling me about you and my emails. I was like, God damn, who is this guy 48 Ways? Because there were so many people in your corner that believe in you. I could see your shine, that they were hitting me up like you gotta have this guy on, you gotta have this guy on. And I think I started messaging Edgar.
OC Syndicate?
Yeah, I started messaging him as if he was going to be on the show, and then he's like, oh, no, I'm not, I forgot what he said. It's really funny. I'll have to read it to you off camera, but he was like, no, not me. And then I was like, oh, that's right. You're part of the same people that are pushing this guy 48 Ways. So this is a lot about who you are. You went away a couple times. They never forgot about you. They never forgot about what you had and put you out there, and now you're shining.
Yeah, I went away for a minute, and coming home.
Couple minutes.
I came home to, you know, people encouraging me and being encouraged by me. It really, it's a blessing. It's a blessing, but I've when I look out for somebody, I don't do it. There's people like, and I'll stop somebody, like, well, they'll say, oh, I'm gonna look out for this person because he's gonna come back 10 times to me, and I'm like, I'm not like that. Like, if I look out for you, I don't care, like, what I got coming. Like, you know, I'm looking out for you because I believe in that situation, or I believe that I can do it for you, right? I don't do it because I expect something back. So that's really what drives me, you know. That's really what keeps me going, that I know I can push somebody else, you know.
Are you a religious person at all?
No, but I know God. Like, I believe in him, you know, because I've been in some stuff in life where it's like, if it wasn't for God, right? If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't make it out of some situations. Or I wouldn't be here now. Yeah. Right? Because you know, growing up in between the gang life and the drug life, you know, there's some close encounters.
Yeah.
You know, there's
You're
some
like, there
times-
has to be a God if I got out of this.
There has to be. There has to be. Yeah, there has to be. So I believe in God. You know, I won't push a religion on somebody else, right?
Yeah.
But I do believe in God, and I do pray on my own. I bless myself before I walk out every day, right? I try to bless myself before I walk out home, and then I bless myself when I jump on the freeway.
Me too. I don't know. I think that was taught, like our grandmas taught us that or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So now my kids do it.
Mine too.
know?
Especially field trips. I'm like, you got on that bus with no seatbelts, you better. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So what is the ultimate goal for you, 48?
The ultimate goal is to create a bunch of successful people around me.
Yeah.
You know, and succeed at what I'm trying to do in this music. The ultimate goal is really to provide for my kids' kids, to be able to have grandkids in the future.
Yeah, later.
Later. You know, and for my grandkids to be like, man, my grandpa was a badass. You know, that's really my goal, to set my family up in the long run.
Leave a legacy.
Yeah,
right?
leave a legacy. Yep.
For
Yep.
sure.
That's really what I want to do.
So if you could talk to any young boy that is growing up somewhere close to where you grew up, what message would you give him? Like, if he wanted to be where you are today?
Keep pushing. You know, keep pushing. Don't be lazy. You know, get up out of bed, get up out of your couch. You know, if you have an idea, go with it. You know, write out your plan, write out your goals, right? And if you write out your plan, you know, be realistic with yourself. You know, you're not gonna succeed at something like overnight. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take a lot of ups and downs. It's gonna take a lot of tribulations. You know, there's no way around it. You know, tribulations are there. You know, it's like a dead end road that sometimes a GPS, for example, Google Maps might take you to a dead end road, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Right? Why did it take me here? Right?
Yeah.
It just means you have to turn around and go around, and you know, you might follow the road, you know, on the other side of that wall.
Yeah.
Right? But you got to keep going. You got to keep going to get to your destination.
You got to
And
find your way. For
everything
sure.
is possible. Everything is possible. We're built, humans, we're really built to do anything we want, right? We're really built that way. We just gotta go for it, you know.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to fail, right?
Yeah.
Because in order to win, you gotta know how to fail.
Exactly.
Once you know how to fail, you know you can win. You know, it'll be a lot more satisfying.
And it builds character.
Yep.
Yeah. And that part you said, it's more satisfying.
It's more satisfying
when you finally get to where you want to go.
Yeah, definitely.
Before we go, where can people follow you, and where can people experience your artist and experience your music?
Instagram, 48 Ways, 48 Ways, WAYS, no underscore nor nothing, just like that together, 48 Ways. TikTok, 48 Ways with 2 S's at the end. YouTube, 48 Ways. Everything's 48 Ways.
Awesome.
So yeah.
And your artist and the record label that you're part of?
Afinarte, Artefino Music, and then 48 Ways Management.
Nice.
My artist, BHO, at Instagram, Bucho Rios. He's under Bucho Rios.
Nice.
So yeah, that's the artist I have now. So look forward to seeing me develop other artists, and you know, because I'm constantly looking for other artists, but I'm very picky because I have to be.
Yeah.
You know, I have to be. So there's artists out there that are already somewhere where I might have worked with. I just don't say it because I got to check and go. You know. So yeah, there's artists out there that are already, you know, flying high.
They already flew the nest.
Yeah, they already flew, and they're already doing big things that I was a part of, and I'm proud to, you know, say like, man, I was in the studio developing that artist, or you know, I was in the studio helping with that project, you know, or stuff like that. But yeah, the artist that I have now, BHO, that's like he became like a little brother to me.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud where he's
going.
Where he's going, yep.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see more of him, because I think you posted something on one of your stories and I was like, whoa, that shit was fire. So thank you for being here. You will be back again because I said so, and you owe me because you hit me with the door. So you're going to come back
I
again.
apologize.
And you're going to bring your artist with you because I want to
Yep.
meet him. And thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This has been the Crown Peach Show. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, leave us a comment. And if you message me, be sure to kiss it. Keep it simple, sexy.